Welcome to the first of our weekly series for Women's Month, it being August to take a nati as Uprising, as Gagasi FM. This is a perfect opportunity for us to shine the spotlight on some incredible women in the province that are breaking a lot of barriers, that are breaking a lot of glass ceilings. And namhlanje we're focusing on something that we hardly ever get exposed to as indle mnyama, because it involves the water. It involves the water. And siyazazi ukuthi sinjani when it comes to water. We're speaking to uSmilonhle Dlamini, a gorgeous Kwamashu born lady who is also the first black female KZN Parasurfing champion for 2022 in the Neil division. I need a po. Welcome to the show, Smilo, and thank you so much for joining us. We are Pila.
Oh, I'm awesome. I'm great. Thank you for having me.
Is this one Jani champion?
Listen, I was just riding the sea waves, watching on the airwaves.
Yes. Into in a wave.
Listen.
Thank you so much for joining us.
Thank you.
Now, the reason why we brought you on the show, Namhlanje, is because you have achieved an incredible feat. It's nothing to scoff at, Uguti. You're the first black female KZN Parasurfing champ. Take us back. Firstly, let's understand Uguti yini Parasurfer. I think we all know what surfing is, but what is Parasurfing?
So parasurfing, basically, it's adaptive surfing. Because obviously, we are using a surfboard, you go into the water, you surf, you stand. So now, for differently abled people like myself, we can't exactly do the normal surfing, so we have the adaptive surfing, more known as parasurfing. So in my case, I use a prosthetic limb because I have PFFD, which is a limb deformity. And obviously, I can't really surf with my prosthetic limb, so I put that on the sand, and then I just go on to the board on my knee and I surf.
So surfer uguqile.
Yeah, surfing.
Wow.
Yeah.
So let's talk about how you are differently abled. You said you were born with PFFD.
Yeah.
PFFD.
So PFFD, so it's going to be a mouthful. So, bear with me. It's proximal focal femoral deficiency. Basically, it's just a limb deformity. So in my situation, my right leg didn't fully develop. So I don't have a knee. So a prosthetic that I use has a mechanical knee. So basically, it's just a limb deformity. Nothing else was affected, and it's not hereditary, thank goodness. So basically, that's my challenge. It's just I can hop everywhere, but walking with the prosthetic makes things a little bit easier.
A lot easier,
yeah.
Now you are a young black girl, ukhulela Kwamashu. You look different to ontanga bakho. I can imagine what you also are treated differently because you're differently abled. Ingane being ingane can be mean at times. How do you develop this confidence? But as a child, as a young black girl growing up in Lokshini in South Africa, back then in the 80s and the 90s, where indaba prosthetic limb wasn't as progressive as it is now, how did those challenges and growing up in that environment shape uSmilonhle Simbonayo?
Sure. I think I hit the jackpot when it came to the parents.
Yeah.
If it wasn't for them, I don't think I would be where I am. I wouldn't be this confident person that you see. My parents are just amazing. My dad, Baba, he was very active, sports-wise and lifestyle, always pushing for you to be healthy and active, So growing up in that situation, it's always like, but then it's like, kids are going to tease. Kids are the meanest and very honest as well.
Yeah.
So, what do you do? Am I going to cry each time somebody says something? Because Baba was like, you can't be crying all the time. Stand up for yourself. So you kind of grow very thick skin very early on. So you tease me, it literally water off a duck's back.
Yeah.
And I think as time went on, people used to realize, like, what's the point of teasing this one? Because of a and whatever, she goes on with her life. Or actually something else, because, kids. And it's like, oh, okay, your leg, what? It's like, yeah, well, what am I going to do? You can't pass, so you doing this, because you have to fight, your own battles. So for me, it was just growing up, having that confidence. And at home, I wasn't treated differently. Ekaya, like, the rules were upstairs. So it's not like, oh, okay, because of this one now, everything needs to shift. Like, no, not the same.
Acceptance and
Yeah, so you're fine. Okay, you want to go do this, you want to run? Okay, we can't really run that fast. Okay, what else can you do? In the water, oh, there you go, there's your thing. So,
I was going there. That's where I wanted to go.
Sure.
Because ngikuzwa uthi iy'ngane mangabe zikuthiza when you were younger, it ended up being like water off a duck's back. Just amanzi kade wawathanda.
Lalela. Clearly, we should have noticed back
amanzi
then.
nje into yakho nje, into wazalwa
sure.
nayo.
No, definitely.
There are so many options that you can get into mangabe uyingane where physical activity is concerned. Ungagijima, ungenza cross country, ungadlala tennis, ungadlala basketball, netball, ama options maningi. But when you are differently abled like yourself, I guess those options look slightly different to options a fully abled person does have. So then how do you end up getting into the water as opposed to partaking in any other activity as modified as it may be?
I think, like I said, in terms of the parent jackpot, like I was not treated any differently. I went to like a normal school.
Yeah.
And there you had a variety of sports to choose from. So you'd give this a try and it doesn't really work. And I'm quite competitive. So, even on sports days, they had other little things that you could compete in, like for egg and spoon that I could possibly do. But it didn't give me that thing, So then it's like, okay, now we're swimming. And I'm like, well, this is my thing. I've been swimming since I was about 3 or something. So once you're in the water, I was like killing it.
Yeah.
I was just like, this is it. This is my niche. I'm going to take this as far as I can. So at least because I was able to go to schools where they offered these other sports like swimming, I was able to actually find my space in school sports as well.
We've covered you from the beginning. You hit the parent jackpot. You're this confident, beautiful woman. How then does swimming turn into surfing? Ngoba manje champion yokusurfa manje.
Yeah, no. I think because it's like the next thing. I swam in primary school, high school, then took a bit of a break, obviously in school. I was like, I can't do this anymore.
Yeah.
So then I got into open water swimming, like swimming in the dam and the sea. Like I've done a couple of Luna miles. And then the dolphin miles, which I also held like at the beach front. So got into that way, just like swimming against yourself at least. Didn't beat my own time because all these people are beating me. So I got into that, and then it was like, okay, the surfing thing. Like I've always wanted to do it. I've always been interested, and it's just like, how am I gonna do it though? It's like my leg. Okay, I can't really. I don't want to get it wet because the mechanical knee. So you always have these things like, how am I gonna do this? And then social media. You follow all these different athletes, and eventually I land on Made for More. And when I land on their page, I'm like, oh, they're doing adaptive surfing. And I'm like, okay, let me hit them up, DM. They're like, hey, we've got an event, come down and join and see if we want to do this or not. And I went there and I was like, this is it. This is what I want to do. And it just felt like home. So being able to do this thing I've always thought about, being there in the water on a surfboard, and I was like, what, this is me? Yeah, no, it's so surreal. Like the first time out there, it was kind of like, okay, I'm used to swimming in the water, in the sea, and it's fine. The waves are shy and whatnot, and you get up and you go. But now there's a board now that I need to take care of, because now if the waves knock me off, I need to find my board, get back on it, go and try and catch another wave. So it was a challenge, but a lovely one, and I'm just enjoying it so much.
So I guess khulume about this never say die attitude onayo, because sonke sinama challenges esibhekene nawo in our lives, fully abled or differently abled, and sometimes lawo ma challenges misbhekana nawo, we look at them as too big to overcome. Sometimes kusuke kuyizinto ezincane ngempela, but then we sit down and we talk to somebody like you who's differently abled, who has physical challenges that a lot of other people don't, yet i-resolve yakho yokuthi nokuthi ngizokwenza ngeke ngihlulwe into engakhulumi, I'm going to go back there and I'm going to try again. Your resolve is unshaken. Tell me about how you've nurtured or cultivated i-resolve yakho to be as tough as it is, not only according to what you look like on the outside, but nangaphakathi as umuntu esifazane mhlambe who is black in the South Africa that we live in. I-resolve yakho ngempela kufanele iqine. So are there any pointers that you can help us with to strengthen i-resolve yethu sonke?
I think like you said, able-bodied, differently able, we all have challenges. And for me, it's not so much focusing on those challenges or those limitations. Like, you're aware of it. Like, I know I won't be able to do everything, but I can definitely try, So it's like, okay, the limitations are there, but let me focus on my abilities, because it's so easy to focus on the negative things, and people are always pointing that out. But when you yourself, ngaphakathi, you think to yourself, it's like, okay, but what if I try this? And you surprise yourself. So focus on your abilities. The limitations are there, we're aware of them. But if you focus on your abilities, you can surprise yourself. You do so much amazing things. Like, if I had told myself, like, I'm never going to surf, I'm never going to do this,
so into never nje wena awunayo.
How do you spell that? No, you just be aware of yourself. Self-awareness, because I'm not gonna go there like, I can do this, I can do everything. No, I'm very real with myself. I know it's like, okay, I can't maybe do this so and actually, I can't do this, and it's fine. I've given it a shot. I've tried to figure it out, and I couldn't, and it's fine. We move on. There's so many other things to do, and there's so many other things we are faced with. Like, you can't get hung up on a small challenge, and then it's like, my rest of my life, it's over. I can't do anything else.
Yeah.
But you've lived, and you're still gonna live, and there's gonna be other things that are gonna challenge you that you're gonna overcome.
Love to
so focus on your abilities. Be aware of your limitations.
Love that. That's so quotable. You caption your Instagram.
Yes.
Know your abilities.
Focus on your abilities.
Focus on your abilities.
Be aware of your limitations.
Be aware of your limitations. Yeah. I love that. That's the first quotable that we're coming out of this
Thank
chat. So I also wanted to chat about uSmilo outside of being a parasurfer. You said you're an accountant.
Oh.
I
know, right?
Number crunching. So tell me about that part of uSmilo.
I think maybe from school. So the thing was, I wanted to become a doctor for the longest time.
Yeah.
Then came high school, then with the sexual things. Then I'm like, I'm a coach. So let's not do this anymore. Yeah. What's the next best thing? What else am I good at? And I'm like, hey, accounting. And I like this thing. And you look through these career things, and like, they make pretty good money. So maybe let's do the accounting thing. So I just did that, and I enjoyed the numbers. Crazy sound. I actually like it. Went to UKZN, UNISA, and landed myself in being an accountant. Yeah. So I don't know if I can plug my employer, but I'm an accounts payable manager at the Port of Durban. So it's been good. The career has been good. It's can go further, of course, and we're trying to push the study thing as well on the side because I feel basically accounting. I know everybody gets shocked like an accountant, you're doing all these things. I'm like, we're not all grey and boring. Some of us have some colour in us.
I got an there's a bit of an adventurous speak about it.
Yeah, I'm trying to change the conception of grey, boring accountants. We're colourful, we're vibrant.
So now we're going to use you as the face of accountants.
Yes, let's do
Accountants are no longer boring.
No.
Accountants are like Smilo.
Yeah.
They are fun, they're adventurous, they're go-getters. If you want to find out about life and living on the wild side, accountant Smilo is the accountant to model yourself after.
Sure.
So back to the parasurfing.
Sure.
You are now the champion for this year in the Neil division.
Yeah.
How far do you want to see the parasurfing part of you take you? Is it just a hobby? But manje futhi awukwazi ukuyeka as a hobby. Usu-champion.
Kanjani?
You can't.
No. And that's the thing. These things start off like, you know what, let's try something new.
Yeah.
Just like as a hobby. And you're like, this is cool, this is nice, I like this. And then it's like, hey, listen, there's this competition coming up. You could represent KZN. And you're like, let's give it a shot. Let's see what happens. Really, nothing to lose. What's the worst that could happen?
Yeah.
I don't make it, And then you make it and like, how? Okay, so we're here now. And then it's like, SHMs are coming up. It's like, we're competing against the rest of South Africa. So Western Cape, Eastern Cape, there'll be your competition. And you're like, so this is getting serious now, And you're like, okay, let's go for it. You do the practice and everything. So I'm enjoying it. The competitive streak in me is also like, enjoying all of this. So recently, this past weekend, it was the SA Champs, and I won my division there. So now I'm the South African Parasurfing Champion 2022.
Say it with your chest, honey. Say it with your chest. That's what you said. You're the champion.
I think it hasn't sunk in quite yet. It's like each time I think like, no man, yes, it's me. And Neil division, women, first in South Africa. So the idea is to go to the World Championships, which are going to be in California in December. So if the selectors select me and they enter this category, I should be there representing South Africa. But with the parasurfing, adaptive surfing, recently surfing has just been included in the Olympics. So now the idea is to have parasurfing be included in the Paralympics. So the end goal, if things go well, universe, putting it out there, I want to be a Paralympic parasurfer. Basically, that's the idea for me to go to the Paralympics.
From your lips to God's lips.
Amen.
And so it shall be done.
Thank you.
Wednesday.
Yeah.
And we can proudly say we're the first to champion and stand behind you, Smilo. We know it's gonna happen.
Oh, yeah.
Now before we let you go,
Sure.
I wanted to have you mhlambe encourage in some way or another umzali who has a child that is differently abled, whether by sight or there is a limb that is underdeveloped or whatever differently abled it may look like for that particular child. But what's come out from my conversation with you, ukuthi abazali bakho were very instrumental in shaping you to be lo muntu who is very sure of themselves despite the what we call disability. You were able to look at it as an ability and you were able to move on with it. So ongakusho to umzali who doesn't quite know how to navigate to support umntwana who doesn't look like other children in terms of abilities, what would you say to them?
Especially now, it's like 2022, things have changed so much. Back then, my parents did not have all this assistance that's available now. So for parents, it's not like I was saying, the limitations are there. Be aware of it, but there's so much more to a person than how they look physically and what they can do physically. And it's just focusing on that and encouraging. Go out there and try things. Because okay, you are this child who's differently able to and shelter. This one can't do that. No, you're not helping yourself or the child. You're not giving a person that independence. It gives you a break as well as a parent. It's like, you know what, actually, they can go out there, they'll be fine. So for parents, it's difficult. And kids come back. I've had so many times I come back so sad and crying. Baba, manje, mine. And they're like, no, okay, so might as well that. Because this is it, and this is how people are going to do it. So you have to grow some thick skin. Because people are just human beings. We are not very kind to each other. And it's just a matter of overcoming that. It's like, you know what, don't expect the kindness out there. You go out there and put yourself out there. Understand, every person, you go out there, you never know what can happen. People can warm up to you or they're like, this I don't like, But now, because like I said, things are so different, social media has opened things opened things up so much. So there's support groups for parents and support groups for kids. And kids who can get involved in different activities, not necessarily sports, but maybe just to talk as well, with other like-minded people, not just in terms of physical, but it's like, okay, we share the same kind of ideas, let's get together and talk. So parents can go and have support groups because it can take a lot out of you to deal with somebody who needs help a lot more times than somebody else, so it's like you being able to go there, catching a break and maybe finding new techniques to help. It helps parents as well to be like, okay, actually, this is not so bad, and give your child as well that things like, listen, you know what, actually, you're doing pretty well. So, good for you, let's go, focus on the abilities.
Mese kuba nentombazane Smilo engifuna sikhulume nayo. Intombazane who is growing up, they are differently able. They don't come from the best background. mhlampe akanabazali ukhula under adverse situations. So I also want you to perhaps share a message to a young girl who is ambitious, who is on the come up, but nayo unama challenges our face side. They may not look like your challenges or my challenges, but it's a challenge nonetheless. Njengoba kuyinyanga yabantu esifazane siyazama futhi nathi ukuthi sithi give hope and encourage laba abasele. So what would your message be to a young South African girl okulalele njengamanje uthi hayi man uSimilo did this nami?
To them, because that's what I asked one of my mentors. I'm like, I want to be like you. And they're like, no, you must be better. So to all those girls out there, be better. Because you can. Challenges are always going to be there. But there's ways to overcome it. So just find that thing inside. Because sometimes you just feel like, you know what, I can't anymore. I feel like it's just too much to even get out of bed. Find the thing and always just go with it. Because you can do better. Like, you must do better than me. I'm just the beginning of what all these other girls should be. They should be more than what I am, and they should just go out there and conquer. And the thing is, we must take these things, like especially August, month of women, and all these other places, like they're focusing on women. Let's take that advantage. Let's not sit back. It's like, no, I don't want to be seen like, because it's women. No, because you're a woman, you must go out there and take up those challenges. Be in those situations, be in those positions, align yourself with that. Maybe 9 times out of 10 you might get a no, but that one time you might get a yes.
The worst that can happen is a no.
Yeah, and then what?
Yeah.
We try again.
Yeah.
Somewhere else. So it's never giving up, because guys, life is so short. For me to be like, well, it's me, I'm done. There's always tomorrow. So to the young black girls, and I am pro young black girls, like big time. So I want you to go out there and do better.
Absolutely. And I wish we had the entire day to sit with each other and just chat, because Ubuena has, I think, opened up or enlightened me about just how much we can do with what we have. Ngama abilities ethu. We really can conquer the world.
Yes, no, definitely.
We are so proud of you, Smilo. And I really do want to see you ngempela reach lama heights of reach with your parasurfing. You are. I trust you. Yakuthemba. Umuntu owaqala sayingane to water off a duck's back. As an adult, you're now a parasurfer. You called for it. And I think that is perhaps your contribution to the world, to just show everyone what it can be done. So thank you so much for joining us, Similo. We have kickstarted off this series with a bang.
Just thank you so much. Thank you so much. And it's been awesome, and I look forward to what the future holds. And probably flying the South African flag high sometimes soon. But we'll wait and see.
Where do you follow you on the socials? Mangabe sifuna ukusupport asibone ukuthi competition thizeni yeza sihambise lapha esihlabathini siyomemeza igama la Smil. Where do you follow you on the socials?
So on Insta it's Similonhle. On TikTok I've recently started TikToking. It's Similo.Dlamini. And on Insta, I beg your pardon, Facebook also Similonhle Dlamini. So yeah, and then also follow Made for More. So it's at Made for More SA on Instagram and at Made for More SA on Facebook. Just come and join, even if maybe you guys not gonna want to serve, but just to help out. Volunteers are very encouraged to come through. It's just a little thing, giving back, and the joy on the surface faces, it's just amazing. So yes, volunteers are welcome anytime we have events, we'll be posting. I think now we're just probably trying to catch a breath after the SA champs, but soon after this we're starting again, and who knows, we'll be preparing for World Championships.
Love to see it. Thank you so much, Smilo.
Thank you so much. Thanks.